Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree. I'm here for another recap. Told y'all gonna get these back-to-back recaps, y'all. So now I'm caught up. So we all good? We good? All right. And don't be mad at me, y'all. I know I've been putting things out late, but charge it to my head and my heart. But thank you. I'm here, of course. And oh my gosh, did I not say my intro? Y'all, wait, let me rewind that real quick. No, I think I did say, hey, it's Bree. Anyway, y'all, let me start running my mouth. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another one of my recaps. And as always, I'm here to discuss Ready to Love, Season 9, Episode 9, titled Tommy's Getaway, Part 1. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So we start this episode off with the men, some of the men and women on a Sprinter van going to Tommy's Getaway. And then we see some others like in a separate car riding together to go as well. So all the ladies and the men, they all start talking about how they think the weekend will go. And, they're just chopping it up while they're riding together. So finally, everybody arrives at the Getaway. And it's actually nice. They have two houses that are like connecting to each other. So I guess they wanted, the men and women to have like more rooms or whatever. So I thought it was nice. And actually the houses are on like a lake property. So they all get there, right? And Chaz states that he has connections with Vanessa and Rashina and that he's also building a connection with Mika. So everybody is in the house and they're all, kind of fighting over rooms and stuff. And I mean, I kind of don't blame him because I'm like, look, I'm not sharing a room with anybody and I'm definitely not sharing a bathroom with anybody. I'm very particular when it comes to that. So yeah, everybody's, trying to get a room. And so we see Mika and Chaz in a room on the bed, like playing around with each other. And Vanessa walks in and she's just like, okay. So that kind of like made her upset. And guys, all you see is Chaz hugging up on a bunch of women there at the house. And Vanessa is getting like extremely annoyed by it. Now, let me tell y'all, I know I keep saying this, but didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all Chaz was a playboy. Chaz tries to come off as like, I want a wife, I want to settle down. But it's like, no, you don't. Like, I picked it up on episode 2. I did. I could be wrong, y'all. But it was just something I knew that Chaz, likes multiple women. But we're gonna get into that later in this episode. So anyway, she says that Chaz told her that she was his top connection. But since they've arrived at the house, he hasn't even been intentional with her. He hasn't been all up on her like he's, with the other ladies and playing around with Mika. So he kind of wasn't being like that. And I'm like, Vanessa, because girl, he got multiple women. He knows the women that like him. He knows he's like the top dog in the house right now. And he gonna take advantage of it. And it's like, girl, I could have told you that. So anyway, in a new scene, we see some of the guys and ladies, they start playing volleyball outside. And then we see Tommy pulling up to the house in a speedboat. And once he gets on land, he lets them know that they all need to start connecting with each other, with their connections. And they need to know, can they see themselves with their connection long term? So he informs the ladies that they're in the driver's seat this week and they're going to have to eliminate one guy from the journey. So everybody's kind of looking around like, okay, we just eliminated a guy last time, so they get the power again. And I was kind of confused by that because I'm trying to think, was there more men than women? And maybe they're trying to even it up. I don't know. I can't think of the number. But anyway, also Tommy says that he wants them to evaluate how the men have been treating them. And he's going to be back tomorrow for elimination. So in a new scene, we see Vanessa is off to the side, child. Like, she has an attitude. She's very quiet, very standoffish. She just doesn't want to be bothered. So, of course, Chaz notices that, and he walks over to her, so they can have a talk. So they're sitting down, and she's not really engaging with him in any conversation. So he says to her, "You mad?" And she says, "I'm not mad." And he says, You are. And he's like smiling, right? So she says, what would I be mad about? And he says, about me jumping in bed with Mika. So Vanessa says, well, I mean, you can sleep wherever you want to sleep. And he says, well, just because I did that doesn't mean I'm going to sleep there. So she was like, you know what, Chaz, we can sleep separately. And so Vanessa, girl, don't let no joker, see you sweat. Like, this is my thing. Even if it bothers you and you see your connection with another woman, don't you ever show it on your face. Don't you even let it up. Girl, you better play that off. Me like, you should be smiling with him. Be like, hey, y'all look cute as heck together. Like, play that junk off. Especially with a dude, you know how they are. Don't you ever let them see your sweat. Don't you ever let another woman see you that way. That's just my motto, what I go by. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Because I would have never let Chaz think I even felt any type of way at all. Especially not another woman as well. Not happening. But anyway, let me stop running my mouth. So Vanessa says that, Chaz has a decision to make soon because he needs to narrow it down with his connections to one. And I'm like, Vanessa, you need to kind of chill. Like, I get it or whatever, but you need to chill. And you honestly, well, maybe she was trying to make connections with other people. It just wasn't happening. But yeah. I don't know. I didn't really agree with her right then and there about that. So anyway, next we see Alonzo in the kitchen talking about, he's talking to LaRon and he's like, the energy just seems off. And, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So LaRon says no one is stepping on anyone's toes. And, basically, I'm going to get everyone together to have a house meeting because I don't want anyone getting jealous if they see someone talking to their connection. So I guess maybe LaRon and Alonzo were picking up some vibes about some people kind of feeling some type of way when they see their connections talking to other people. And so basically, LaRon is like, we're going to cut this out because we're trying to have a good time and I don't want there to be tension in the house. So anyway, he calls everybody to the living room so that they can talk. Everyone joins him, and he says that he wants to point out a few behaviors that he's been seeing, and he want to nip this in the bud.
Hold on, wait, let me fix my wig and myself, because I'm so tired of everybody talking about hold on.
So LaRon starts talking, right? So he says, look, nobody is married to anybody in here, right? So no more getting salty if you see your connection talking to somebody. Next, there should be no secret alliances going on. People telling people who to eliminate and people telling people who to save based off of a situation you got going on, because this is all about connections. So LaRon brings up that whole group chat situation, that happened with Will and Alexis a few episodes back. So LaRon says that Will conspired he said that Will conspired to eliminate Koshia and Mika and that Dom and William were a part of it. So child, once he said that, William was like, hold up. I wasn't a part of that. Like, no. And so LaRon says, what are you talking about? I have the text messages to prove it. You were a part of that whole conspiracy thing.
I don't need no lecture from you, but I have to duck myself in this house.
So everyone is shocked that, William was even a part of that situation. So William says, look, without context, it looks worse than what it really was. And so, he's defending himself.
I told you it was a legitimate mistake.
So basically, I think William was talking about, he said that Will came to him, saying about what Koshia and Mika, I guess, were saying about him. I don't know, something like that. And William was saying like, oh, that's foul. Like they're trying to say this and that about you, blah, blah, blah. That's how William came off, as though he was saying that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm conspiring with him to eliminate them. I was just, saying that's messed up what they're doing to you. So anyway, LaRon and him are going back and forth. They start arguing. And so Maya says that, at that point, she started to question her connection with William. She says that in her confessional. So we see Maya and William talking in her room, and she lets him know that she doesn't like drama. And he says that he hates that his name was even in that mix, as it made it seem that he was involved. So Maya's kind of like, I don't know. You could tell that kind of like turned her off in a way because she was kind of acting like distant towards him. But she did tell him, just let it go. And she lets him know that they're good. So in her confessional, she says that she's going to look past that situation. So next, we see Mika and Justin go jet skiing, and they're just having fun in the water until they fall out of the jet ski. And like poor Mika, because she looked like, oh my gosh, like I could have drowned. And it's not funny, but it was just like kind of crazy, that happened. Then we see Maya and LaRon talking in the kitchen, and they're talking about how they both work from home. And at times when they do go out and they come back to their places, they get a little sad because they know they're coming home alone. So they start talking about them, how they like having fun together, how they kind of like to do the same things, and they like to go out. So then they start talking about dating people with kids, and they both said they're open to that, but they prefer to be with somebody who doesn't have kids because, the kids that they have with their partner, they want them to be like their first kids. And then we learn that they both want 2 boys. So next we see Patrice and Chaz talking, and he tells her that he doesn't have her number. So they go off outside to the side and they start having a conversation. And so Patrice lets him know that from the beginning, like she kept him as one of her strongest interests. But, he hasn't been calling. And she was thinking like, okay, since you ain't been calling me, I guess you're not feeling me like that. And so then Chaz says, well, it was tough for me because at that point I did have another connection. And I was just trying to be intentional and not mislead her. So I'm just like, Chaz, please. Like, honestly, I don't even think you were interested in Patrice like that because let me tell you something. If you were really interested, you would have got them digits from the beginning. You would have talked to her like you talked to Rashina, like you talked to Vanessa at the same time. So, and I think you got Mika's number too. So I don't want to hear this stuff, that excuse about, well, at that time I was being intentional. Like, no, because you know what type of show you're on.
I said what I said.
So anyway, so he tells Patrice that he wanted to reach out to her, but, he can't really handle talking to multiple women at the same time. So she says, I get it, but at the same time, we have to agree to explore and come to a complete understanding. And you can't say anything about not knowing me if you haven't even talked to me. So in my opinion, y'all, in that moment, I felt like Patrice was doing too much because, like I said, if he was really interested, he would have pursued her from the jump. And there ain't no way I'm going to convince a man otherwise, especially this late in the game. Because, honestly, at this point, it's really nothing because y'all are basically getting down to the wire. So anyway, Chaz apologizes to her, and he does say that he's interested in her. So, they start talking about how they're on the same level, I guess, business-wise, and I think even financially. So Chaz says, well, I don't care what you have, and I know what I have and how I can provide. And so, y'all, I'm going to need these women to leave Chaz alone. What I'm starting to see is that I think they're getting caught up in how he looks, like how he's good looking, and like what he has, like how he can be a provider. He does have a beautiful home. He's responsible. He has a good job. So I think they're kind of looking at those things instead of really diving deep with Chaz, on some like deep level. But anyway, in a new scene, we see Patrice and Alonzo in the kitchen, and he says that they've always had free-falling conversations. Then we see everyone else talking and just like having a great time, right? So next we see Alonzo and Vanessa sitting down. She's eating. So they're talking, and she says to him, does it matter how a woman cooks? And he says, no, I'll eat anything. And also, too, I can cook. So if she can't cook, I can cook. And I'm like, yes, Alonzo, come through with the cooking.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
So he says, one of his things in a relationship that's a must-have is trust. He got to have trust. So he says, I'm always being looked at being the fun guy. But I want you to know, Vanessa, I do ask serious questions. So in Vanessa's confessional, she says that Alonzo feels he's being put into a box. So, it's kind of his responsibility to show up in ways that he wants to be acknowledged for. So y'all, the day winds down, it's nighttime, and they're all having a dance off in the living room. They're just having a good time. They're just dancing with each other, and it was cool to see. So as they're dancing, we see LaRon and Maya dancing all up on each other. And as they're dancing, right, what is it? You could pick up what LaRon is saying, even though the camera wasn't on them at this point, but it's just showing like the subtitles of what LaRon is telling her. So he gonna say to Maya, he says, I really need to be your man. I'm serious. I'm just like, LaRon. And, Maya's just listening to him. She's like against the refrigerator, like, mm-hmm. And so she says in her confessional that her and LaRon are blossoming together. Now, I will say I'm kind of shocked by this match here because I was not expecting it. But I'm curious to see how this is going to flow. So next, we see Patrice and William talking outside, and he tells her that, he's been struggling with some personal things, and, recently, like, he took a leave of absence from work because of his dad, and he's just basically trying to be the backbone for his family right now. So he does start kind of crying. I guess, he's just releasing his emotions about what he's going through. And, Patrice is being very understanding. She's listening to him, giving him some advice, and just being very helpful overall. So in his confessional, he says that he's comfortable being vulnerable with her. So then we see Rashina and Chaz, right, in the kitchen flirting. So from what I could tell, Rashina had some type of fruit. I don't know if she maybe squeezed like the liquid from the fruit like onto her chest, or the fruit itself was on her chest. Either way, something was on her chest. And we see Mr. Chaz going down towards her chest area and starts like licking something off, or like maybe eating a fruit off of her chest. So I'm looking at them like, Chaz, yeah, I knew it. So then Rashina puts a strawberry in her mouth. He goes up to her mouth, takes a bite out of it, and they start kissing.
Wow, son. Wow. That's crazy, yo.
And I'm just like, and they were kissing, they were doing that in front of LaRon and Maya in the kitchen. And I was like, Chaz, like, homie, I see you. I've been saying this since episode 2. You ain't looking for nothing serious. You are not. I don't even feel like you even like Rashina like that. I think you're attracted to her like it's on some physical type stuff, but y'all, he ain't serious, and I don't believe he really ready to love. Anyway, so in a new scene, we see everyone is getting dressed. It's the next day, and Vanessa, Rashina, and Patrice, they're all in the kitchen, and they start talking about Chaz. So basically, Vanessa is like now worried that he's added another connection to his roster, which is Patrice. And so they start talking about like, Chaz has been texting me good morning text. And the other lady's like, well, he's been texting me good morning text. And even Mika got into it. And I'm just like, Chaz, do you not know the women are going to talk, and they're eventually going to find out that you out here trying to run game on all of them and saying the same thing? So, child, I already knew this was going to happen. I think I actually said it in episode 2. He was going to get caught up. So anyway, Tommy arrives at the house, and the ladies start telling him about their connections and like who they're still interested in. And so Maya says that LaRon is now a part of her top connection. He's up there with William. She does let Tommy know that she didn't like that William was a part of that text message situation. She just wasn't feeling that. So basically, the other ladies start talking about their connections and what's been going on in the house and everything. And so finally, they all come to a conclusion about who they're going to eliminate today. So Tommy tells them, go get the guys outside and tell them who's leaving. So everybody goes outside, and Tommy calls Vanessa up to the front to share the news. So Vanessa asks LaRon, Alonzo, and William to step forward. So she lets LaRon know the issue with him is his lifestyle and his inability to be a family man. Because, some of the ladies there, they have kids. And so because he kind of likes to go out a lot, they keep putting that on him. And maybe he doesn't really have experience with children, or maybe not really could take it really serious, or I don't know. They just felt like he's not ready to be a family man. Then she lets William know that the women there might not have the emotional capacity to support him in a relationship. And also, too, they were turned off by that whole text message situation. It was just off-putting. So that's why he in the bottom. Then she lets Alonzo know that, we do see you showing your more serious side now, but it's kind of a little too late, and that you should have shown your serious side from the beginning. So that's kind of like their gripe about why they have Alonzo at the bottom. So then Vanessa says, the person we have decided that is not ready to love is and seen. So yeah, y'all, we're left with the cliffhanger. We don't know who got eliminated. I'm gonna give my guess. I think William is going to be eliminated. The reason why I say that is they did not like the fact about that whole text message situation. Maya has definitely grown distant from him since she found that out, and I don't think she's feeling him anymore. It was like a turnoff to her, and also too, she's getting closer to LaRon. So, and just the other girls, even though they don't really have a connection with LaRon either, but maybe they talked and maybe they realized Maya probably is liking LaRon more, so we're not going to get rid of him right now. So I think, and also too, with William has a lot going on right now. I just think the women can't really or don't even want to support him. I don't know. So that's my guess. I don't believe Alonzo's going because they know that's Patrice's guy. So I don't think they're getting rid of Alonzo. So that's just my guess. But y'all tell me, tell me below, like, who do you guys think is being eliminated next week? That's just my guess. But anyway, I'm going to give this episode, I'll give it an 8. It was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. It's hard, y'all, for me to even give people 9 and 10, to give these episodes a 9 or 10. Like, it needs to be spectacular. I will say I am enjoying this season. I do enjoy it. I actually think I like it better than last season. And yeah, I do. Yeah, I like it better than last season. But I don't feel like it's stellar to where I could be giving 9s and 10s out. Even with this episode, I'm like, I'm going to give you an 8. I won't give him a 7. I think it was, 8 quality. So anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another one of my recaps. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. Also, too, comment below. Tell me your thoughts on this week's episode. Who do you think is getting eliminated next week? What do y'all think about Chaz? Y'all already know my thoughts about it. Just let me know what y'all think about Old Boy. And yeah, just talk to me. Talk to me in the comments. But thank you guys. But before you go, as always, I'd love to say a prayer over you. And so here it goes. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you and give you favor. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you his peace and protection. This is my prayer over your life. In Jesus' name, amen. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in my next recap. And yeah, bye.